Hi everyone. In this short video, you will learn how to create assignments in Sakai. Let's get started. Before creating your assignments, I recommend setting everything up in your gradebook first. Doing so gives you greater flexibility with grading options. You may post grades directly into the gradebook or post them through the Assignments tab. I've already created a couple of assignments in the gradebook, so we can now begin creating them in the Assignments tool. We'll start by clicking the Add button. You'll need to give the assignment a title, and it should match the title that's already in the gradebook. In this case, I'm going to use Assignment 1. The open date is the first day the assignment is visible to your students. I typically prefer to make all assignments visible at the beginning of the term, but if you have a reason to delay access, you can control the date when the items can be seen by the students. The due date is self-explanatory, but note that the time of day is also part of the field. So if you want to give students a specific time of the day where assignments must be turned in, you can change the time that's already listed there. Most of the time I want to give them until the very end of the day, so I may put in 11:59:00 p.m. just to give them the latest amount of time possible. The Accept Until date allows you to set the system to accept work beyond the due date without having to go back into the assignment and change the dates. You can set this to allow an extra day, week, or even until the end of the term. Assignments that are submitted between the due date and the Accept Until date will be clearly marked late so that you can apply any late penalties at the time of grading. The Student Submissions field determines how students must submit their work. Most assignments will require a student to submit work in a document of some type. In this case, you can select the Attachments Only option. If the assignment requires a short response and formatting is not an issue, you may select Inline, which allows students to type directly into an editing box and submit their response. The Single Uploaded File option is used if you plan to have students submit the assignment to turn it in for similarity checking. In this case, this is the one we'll select. If you select the Allow Resubmission box, you can automatically allow students to resubmit an assignment multiple times. Most of the time, you will not want to do this. If an individual student does need to resubmit, there's a way to allow that once you begin the grading process, so I'll uncheck that box. Be sure to check the grade scale, and in this case it's going to be points, and then make sure the points that you place here match what you have in your gradebook. Your instructions for the assignment should go in this box. You can copy and paste instructions directly from your syllabus if they're already there. Otherwise, be sure you give complete instructions for your students. The next three boxes are rarely used here, so they're self-explanatory if you want to use any of those. The Turnitin box, if you decide you're going to use Turnitin, clicking on this box will give you some additional information. Using Turnitin in Sakai will only provide you with an originality report. You cannot use Turnitin's advanced grading features through Sakai. If you want to use those, you will need to set up an external Turnitin account. Review the settings here and make sure that they match what you desire. Make sure and tell your students how to name their file and the type of files that they can use to submit to Turnitin. The settings here are pretty much the way that I want them. The only thing that I'm going to add is I want students to be able to view their originality report as well, so I've checked that box. Otherwise, I think everything else is fine. In the grading section, if you have already created the assignment in Gradebook, you can select Associate with an existing gradebook entry. So I'm going to associate this with Assignment 1. Sakai now allows you to create group assignments where a single submission can be turned in on behalf of the group. If this is a group assignment, check the box. You have two options. If the groups have different assignments, you may want to select Display to Selected Groups. Here I've marked it as Submissions for a group, but I'm only going to mark Display to Site because the assignment is the same for everyone. If I had separate assignments for different groups, I could click this box and then I can pick the group that that assignment belongs to. The next two sections allow you to determine whether you want to receive notifications when students submit their assignments and whether you want students to receive a notification when you have released their grades for an assignment. Typically, I leave the Do Not Send notifications here and then Do Not Send notifications to the student when the grade is released. If your assignment requires students to review additional materials, you can use the Add Attachments tab here to include them. The supplemental items are rarely used, and you can check the details further for these through the Help tab in Sakai. Once you're finished, you can preview the assignment, save it as a draft, or go ahead and post it. Once you're satisfied, you can click Post. The assignment list screen will show you the details of the assignments. The red ribbon next to the assignment title indicates that this is an assignment using Turnitin.com. An icon in front of the assignment will indicate whether the assignment is a group assignment or individual. In this case, there are two people in this little icon. This is a group submission. If it were a single submission by individuals, there would only be one person in that icon. Here you have some other options as well. You can click on the student view and see the assignment the way that students will see it on the assignment list page. The reason nothing is showing up right now is because in the assignment list, this assignment is not open. Once it's open, it will populate the student view. If you have multiple assignments in your course, an additional tab will show up at the top, allowing you to reorder the assignments. You can organize them alphabetically by the date open, the date due, or you can simply drag and drop them into different order. Additional help is available through the Help tab in Sakai. By clicking on Instructor Guide, and then clicking on Assignments, you can see the additional topics here if you need other help. This concludes the training session on how to create assignments in Sakai.